and all around.
We're live.
And we're live. What's up? What's going on, Ty?
Ken is back and better than ever. It's been hold on a second. I did what I always do.
Hi, Ty.
Hi, Dan.
I just wanted to say hi.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.
All right, so we are here today. We've got an agenda picked up. We're going to go over the Bermuda Championship, talk about the fact that the WGC HSBC was canceled, and then go into some other topics like social media and golf and how that's working. We want to talk to Tommy about the store and how they're doing. And we're just excited to be back on the air after a really long hiatus. The last show we did was the Open Championship, and that was quite some time ago. Tommy, how are you?
I've been doing great. Can't complain. We're staying really busy here at the store. We are actually celebrating our 1-year anniversary of taking over the store tomorrow. So we're 364 days in so far. And
it's been a great 364 days, Tommy.
Yeah. And we're also celebrating this weekend with our hole in run event down at the Barnstormers. You can see the down along the bottom there has the website to go to sign up for it. But basically, we're going to be hitting golf balls out on the field. And if you sign up for the Challenge Scotland at the end of the night, you have an opportunity to win a free fitted driver. So.
All righty. Well, let's run the intro and get right into it.
Check it out.
All right. So, how's your game, Tommy?
Honestly, it's been a really good year. Played in multiple tournaments. Finished second at the Lanco Better Ball this year. Got runner-up in the Bent Creek member guests. Trying to think what else we did. And then just won Ty's tournament the other day. So it's been doing good. And back down to a plus handicap. So back below scratch. So can't complain.
I had a pretty good year myself. I'm going to make a couple of swing tweaks here over the winter, which I'll probably be begging Tommy for some bay time to try and do that at some point. But other than that, starting to really feel good about things. I talked to Tommy about the tweak I'm looking to make. I got to clear the hips a little bit more. Got to get the club a little bit more inside my swing instead of outside my swing, and I think I'll be a bit more consistent. Didn't win any tournaments this year. Won a couple of scrambles, so I guess I did, but that doesn't count. I came in not first place at my own tournament, and that's just the way it goes. But no, the game's good, and I'm glad to hear Tommy's game is good. I know everybody in at PTP, their game's pretty good right now as well. Let's move forward to the cancellation of the WGC event. So the China regulations have canceled this event. I think it's the second year in a row. I'm kind of bummed out about that. That's where all the big names would have been. That leads us to a pretty slow week in golf, but a great week for betting. Thoughts on the WGC being canceled, Tom?
I mean, ultimately probably the right decision. It is unfortunate. I don't know why they had to wait till right beforehand to announce it was canceled. I mean, they could have, some of these other names could have came down to the Bermuda Championship or something else to make a move over there. But I guess, you try to hold out hope that's going to happen. I guess it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, with that, let's move right into the Bermuda Championship. I'm excited to get back on the betting train this week. Tournaments like this, we usually are pretty hit or miss. It's you got a C-plus field, Bermuda Championship. It is the third playing of this tournament. It's at Port Royal Golf Course. Par 71, just 68.28 yards. looks like the weather is going to be nice, but extremely windy, 25+ mile-an-hour winds. I'm giving the field a really low C minus, almost a D. Tommy, your thoughts on the field?
I think it's going to come down to what you said before. I mean, it's going to come down to the wind, you know? I mean, the field is what it is, but that a field like this also means that there's a lot of people who have high odd or high, low risk, high return kind of bets, Anybody you bet on is going to be a pretty nice payday if you hit it. But it can also be hard to pick that, the one apple out of the bad batch of apples. So,
Right.
But I think it's going to come down to the fact that it's a short course, except for the par threes, which 3 of them play over 230 yards. Other one's a little flip wedge, but in that wind, nothing's a guarantee. I mean, you got some 235 holes that could be playing 260 if the wind's in their face. So for me, I'm looking at guys who strike the ball cleanly, who are going to be highest stroke gains. Approach is huge for me, especially when you're talking about approach over 150 yards.
I did struggle on stats that translate topic this week. That'll be back next week. I was just kind of getting my bearings about me again for all the research that I like to do. I'm with you. I think that this course would not be hosting a tournament if it didn't have those par threes. So I think this course would not be a PGA championship course or a PGA caliber course. The last 2 winners in the first 2 playing has been Brandon Todd and Brian Gay. Coincidentally, leading into that win, they had both missed the cut in 4 previous events and then came into this one and won. So there are some betting websites that actually are saying that look for somebody who's missed a bunch of cuts and is going to come out and play well. That's not really the trend I was looking at. I was more with you. I was looking at ball strikers. I was looking at guys that I think can play under the wind. I think there are guys that can play in the wind in general. So that's kind of where I was looking. I've got a nice list of guys, and then, there's some power rankings out there.
Because I put actually a lower value on putting this week. Anytime you're talking about Florida golf, Caribbean golf, that style of grass, it's not perfectly smooth. It never is. Maybe very early in the morning, but if you're even mid-morning and afternoon tee time, you're going to get plenty of grain, lots of bumps. So it's not going to come down to some guy draining every 20-footer. It's going to be the guy who can get it into 8 feet. And that's, again, comes back to the ball strikers. So
that's a great point, Tommy. I agree. The odds-on favorite going into this week is Matt Fitzpatrick, who is 26th in the world golf rankings. He won 2 weeks ago. What's that?
And he's garbage at golf. So
yes, you are not a Matty Fitz fan, I know. Won 2 weeks ago. Was looking for his first. Well, he won 2 weeks ago on the European Tour. Still looking for that elusive first PGA Tour win. I like him this week. You're not going to make a ton of money betting on him, but I'd be betting on him for a top 10, top 5, and a win. He's got 5 top 10s.
Hey, Ty, are we leaving the tables for the candy sale up for tomorrow?
Yes, we are. He's got 5 top 10s and 6 top 25s in the last 12 months. So he is definitely somebody worth putting some money on. Kind of out of nowhere, I like Adam Hadwin this week. He needs a good week. He tied for 6th at the Shriners, which is probably it's one of his best finishes in a long time. It's important for him. He needs to play well.
Yeah, he plays well in Hawaii, so I wonder if that would translate over here to the Caribbean as well. So
he needs to get off the tee. If he gets off the tee and puts himself in good position, he'll be fine. He hits his irons pretty well. A guy that I like, world golf ranking 105th, is Sheamus Power. He placed tied for 31st here last year with a closing 66. He has 4 top 10s and 8 top 25s, along with a win over the last 12 months. The fact that he's played this course, a lot of the guys that I have on my list are guys who played here last year. because of those long par threes, because of the wind, because of the atmosphere. I think knowing the course a little bit and having a couple of weeks on it beforehand is helpful. Your thoughts?
I mean, Sheamus Powers has been, I'm all about trend.
Yep.
And he had a really good year last year. Maybe got overshadowed by Zalatoris a little bit. Don't believe he had a win last year, but he contended once or twice, and saw it was a name that came up. Actually, he might have won. Actually, it might have been a week that he did. He won last week, and we had been riding him, and then we found on our hiatus with the podcast, and of course, he goes out and gets a win like a few weeks after we had, taken a break for a while. So it was just like, oh man, of course. So, but yeah, not a bad pick. He's been definitely coming along. Don't know much about his ball striking game, but somebody that you've seen if you've watched golf, especially beyond the non-majors, a name that popped up quite a few times last year.
Yep. So. No, I like him. Like him moving forward. We have another guy on my list, former Masters champ, Danny Willett. He's kind of bounced back over the last 2 years. He hasn't won, but you're starting to see him in the hunt. 5 top 25s, 2 top 10s.
He was he hung around. He's been in the contention quite a bit.
He did win 3 weeks ago on the European Tour. I couldn't read my handwriting here. So. Yeah. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember seeing him on European Tour competing. I didn't remember if he won or not.
Yeah. Who are some of your guys here before I finish my list off? Because I think we share a couple. I don't want to.
In typical Tom fashion, I have 0 stats to back up either of my picks. But I will go out on a limb saying that one of them will 100% win this week. First guy that struck my eye as like a top 5 potential winner was Russell Knox. Again, played very well last year for him. Had some opportunities to win, didn't come through. Very weak field. Phenomenal ball striker. Can get up and can kind of scrappy around the greens. Perfect for this kind of course. Could see him doing well. But
I'll piggyback off you there. So Russell Knox tied for 11th in 19, tied for 16th in 2020. He plays well there. He needs a win. He really does. But I'm taking him 10-5 and to win on DraftKings this week.
But my guy, who has more experience than the majority of this field, had a great resurgence last year, didn't quite pull out a win until this week. This week is the week Camilla Villegas wins and gets his full PGA status back and shocks the world. And you could put 100 on it right now.
All of our 10 listeners and watchers will be thankful to know their $100 isn't safe if they put it on Villegas. It's just not. I don't like Villegas this week. He's playing much better. I don't disagree with you. I don't like him this week. I hope you're right. I'll put money on him because you told me to. I'm not going to put a lot on him.
I've had stupider picks work out. All right.
Yes, you have.
I have a great.
My big pick is Hank LaBoida. I like Hank a lot this week. He tied for 3rd in 19, tied for 16th last year. 6 top 25s, 3 top 10s in the last 12 months. I love him to win this week. I definitely love him to be in the hunt, top 5, top 10. So those are definitely things to look at. I have a couple of throws here. Denny McCarthy, he's played well both times he's been at Port Royal. So I like him. His driving accuracy is second over his last 8 events. He's also 12th in greens and regulation over his last 8 events. So, I think he's somebody you could put some money on to be in top 10, top 5 and make some money. I like Dylan Wu to be a top 10 guy and make some money off of it. And I think you'd be making a mistake if you didn't bet on Brian Gay. He won in 2020, tied for 3rd in 2019. He did just withdraw from the Shriners last week, and it has not been a great year, but somebody who's had that kind of success and is in the field I think you're making a mistake by not putting money on him.
All I'm saying,
And then just some, what's that?
all I'm saying is $100 on Vegas pays out 10,000. So it's a fun fact of the day.
And then you can't forget about Christian Zunhout, Guido Migliozzi.
No, Guido has
Patrick
screwed me
Reed.
over too many times for me to bet on him again. That was your probably one bad call of all last year. Is you're like, this
I
guy
know,
Guido is going to come out and play well in the Open. You know what he didn't do, Ty? Play well in the Open.
Harry Hall and then Scott Stallings are the last couple of names I have. Give me 1 second.
Every time I hear the name Scott Stallings, all I can think about is the videos of like the goalie from Yale where he just keep getting hit in the face over and over again.
Oh yeah. Why was that him?
No, but it's a fake. I'm pretty sure his name in the video was Scott Stallings.
All right.
Epic.
Okay, so that is our picks for the Bermuda Championship. I don't know why I can't talk today. I've stumbled over every word I've said. Anybody else you want to throw in there, Tommy?
No, but I will throw out Tiger Woods Zozo Champion 2022.
I love that he's out and about and just people click pictures of him and throw them online and it causes such a stir. It's like he had a club in his hand watching Charlie swing in the world.
Swinging.
Like
Best part, he's not even swinging. He's just holding one of his son's clubs.
He's holding a club.
He's holding a golf
Probably
club. He's coming back. He masters.
Right, exactly.
Scott Sterling. Executive producer Matt has let me know that the guy's name from the video is Scott Sterling. But I would definitely yell Scott Stalling if he won, so it's okay.
Thank you, executive producer Matt. I wish I was in studio today myself. Next thing I want to talk about is social media and golf. Like, it's kind of blowing up. Like the whole like Instagram golfer. You've got all these people that have their own, podcasts and everything. And, some are good, some are bad. I'm curious where you stand on it. Who do you like to pay attention to on social media, YouTube, whatever?
I mean, I'm a big fan of. I've always been a fan of Rick Shields. I've started to get more into Pete. What's his buddy's name? Pete something.
Finch.
Peter Finch.
Peter Finch.
Yeah, been a fan. Though Peter does like a lot more like challenges. Like I like that, and his videos are long. And I'm more of a fan of like Rick Shields, like $5 or 5 minute like hit clips where he'll just be like, trust in this club. I'm showing you how to do this. I'm going to do this challenge, but like in a shorter, compact thing. Like he does it really good at that. Yeah. And then I was going to say, Matt just made a point, but I agree with him is I'm a big, like, I would want to be a fan of like GM golf, good golf. Like I like their apparel line, but man, are their videos long, man. Like they're like they're playing 6 holes of golf, but it's like 30 minutes of footage. It's like they hit a shot and then they like say, well, this is what I did on that shot in case you couldn't see it with your 2 eyes, even though you just watched it. It's like, come on, like keep it moving,
right.
And they also,
I think that,
no music in their videos either. So it's just like them talking. It's just like, oh man, like it's just painful.
Their production, like the production of their videos is subpar. In comparison to,
because they're like all like 4 really good golfers,
right?
And have some incredible stuff, like having a hole in one on camera, like that was huge. But like, man, even that video, like they're like, don't fast forward through it, and it's like 45 minutes long. I'm like, all right, I just want to get to the part where you make this shot, like calm down, like.
I think there's different methods to being successful in that realm. Their method, in my opinion, is that, like you said, they're really good golfers. So you're going to get people that aren't as good that live through that, right? So they're more relatable than a PGA player because you're there, you're on the tee box with them, you're hearing them talk. And I think that's relatable for people who are, shooting in the 90s and shooting in the high 80s that are like, oh, man, that's really cool. For better players, it just gets old, right? Like it's a 40-minute video where it's like, great, yeah, you hit a couple of really good shots. You're really good golfers, but okay, the trick shots are more entertaining, in my opinion, when it comes to that, because it's something I'm never going to have time to even try. So watching it's fine. I also think it's interesting to see the correlation of production value to talent. So, like, I don't think – like, Rick Shields is a good golfer. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that most of the guys on Good or what's the other one that you said?
GM Golf, it's all the same.
They're the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're probably better players than Rick is. But Rick's production value and the ability to advertise.
Rick's a lot better player. I make that argument. Like, Dan and I get in this all the time. Rick's a lot better player than, like, he gets credit for. Because, like, think about back to his, like, break 75 challenge. Like, he's playing the tips at, like, which are, like, 6,800 or more yards. And he's shooting, like, 72, 73, 74. Like,
I'm not saying he's a bad golfer.
Round. And he's playing in some subpar conditions. Versus, like, I think you send him against GM Golf, I think he's probably pretty darn close. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
He's think a terrible wedge player. He can't lag putt and he can't hit a full wedge to save his life. But his ball striking and driving are like top notch, and he doesn't miss a putt inside of 8 feet ever. So
right. I'm not saying he's a bad player. No. All right. Like
trigger
I'm not. Like it's a trigger point for you, and I wasn't trying to trigger you.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. I'd really love to have one, Chris, before the end of before it gets too cold. The field is still set up, so I'm thinking soon. So I don't know. I just feel like there's such different categories for the media aspect of it. I enjoy Rick Shields more than I enjoy those guys. Like you said, the videos aren't quite as long. Peter Finch's videos aren't that bad. They're about 11 to 12 minutes usually. But I also think that there's some golfers that, like, where do you sit on Manolo Teach? Like, where it's just like Instagram. So, like, I love it. I'll watch that all day long. They're like a minute and a half long.
I think if you want golf to continue to grow, you got to go there. You got to. I mean, I don't know if you follow like the Make Golf Your Thing. It's not really something to follow. It's just like a commercial PGA's been doing, and you've got people like Manolo on it. You've got like even just like Instagram dancers like Aubrey Fisher on it, who are just like, they're not even golf related, but he did like a dance video with like golf stuff on, and they included that, hole-in-one trick shots, stuff like that. I love it because it's free content for me to like kind of like interact with. I share it to our page all the time and get to interact with the guys. Like PGA memes or Zaire, like Matt pointed out, like Zaire is a private account, so that's annoying because they don't let you share their stuff. But but it's still like it's really great engagement for us, and ultimately being in the golf industry, I love it because it just gets more and more people involved, which means parents buying their kids stuff. It means when the kids grow up, if they stick with it, buying future purchases. So personally for me, selfishly, I love it, and it's very entertaining just as a golfer, let alone not someone in the industry. Mm-hmm.
So homework assignment for next week. This is going to be an ongoing topic. We're going to share people we want you to look at, right? So like Tommy come up with a couple of people, I'll come up with a couple of people. And if we have some people who are new to the game or are looking for just golf content, I want to throw a couple names out there that you can go look at that we might enjoy. So we'll keep the like social media golfer conversation going on next week. Chris, nice on the 91 at Crossgates. That's like the most penal track in Lancaster County, and keeping the ball in play is important. So 91's not bad, man. We got to get out and play before it gets too cold. Let me know when you're available. Let's close up shop, Tommy. I love our picks this week. What are you trying to do to improve your game this winter?
For me, I got to get my path on point. Like, it's starting to get less from the inside, but if Squid Game was saying hit a cut or you're eliminated, I would be eliminated. So basically I need to get my path more neutral. I'm just going to start working with my swing instructor again to try. I mean, it's nice because I know if I'm gonna miss left, but so I can kind of plan for it. But I think for me to get to the next step of where I want to go and compete locally or even in like the Philly section, that I got to be able to work the ball both ways. So maybe get back to a USAM qualifier here one day. So we'll see.
Nice. I already kind of touched on it. I'm trying to get a little bit more inside the golf ball. My hands get a little too far away from my body at impact, especially with my longer clubs. I lose some distance that way. I'm also losing some consistency. So we'll be looking at that. I took a lot of slow motion video of my swing over the last 2 weeks, and it's frustrating, but being a low single digit handicap, realizing what you need to fix and be better than that, it becomes small stuff, and that can be difficult because you might not be as low a single digit handicap once you start trying to fix it. But I'm dedicated to it this winter and spring. So that's the goal for me.
For me, I'd like to get my average score down. I averaged just under 75 this year, playing 49 times. So I'm pretty happy with that, especially since I threw in some atypical rounds this year. I had some mid 80s rounds that kind of brought that average up. But I would like to, I'd like to get that down closer to 72. Just because I think that's definitely achievable for me. And I'd like to get more rounds in the 60s. I think I did it twice this year, which is still an improvement. I haven't done it that many times. I've done it 3 times this year, excuse me. But I'd like to be in the 60s, once out of every 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 rounds. I think that's definitely doable. So
awesome. All right. What do you got going on? What do you want to plug? And then we'll get out of here.
As always, guys, come in and get fit at Pull the Pin. Now is the time to get fit, and especially if you're thinking towards Christmas, because with supply chain issues, I mean, I can't even guarantee it'll be here by Christmas, but to give you the best possible chance earlier is so much better. Once we get into mid-November, you're going to have next to no chance to get, your stuff in before the holidays. So, but really realistically thinking towards next year, give yourself the best chance to have it starting next year. Come get fit now. A lot of the products are staying the same going into next year. There's not as many new offerings coming, so it's not like you're going to be like, dang, I wish I'd waited for the new one. Like, there's not going to be as much of that. So come and get fit at Pull the Pin. Hopefully we can see you guys this weekend at our hole and run event. And as always, thanks for tuning in with us. So
awesome. I was looking for the BetRivers promo on here, and we've been gone so long that I don't know that it's here anymore. Maybe Mr. McCrockpot can tell me about that another time. I want to thank the Painted Lines, as always, for letting us use their platform to spread our betting knowledge and some of our banter about golf. I want to thank Pull the Pin, as always, because they've been so great to me as a golfer and as a friend. And thanks to Tommy for being here. And we will see you next week. I'm hoping Tuesdays at 2 are kind of going to be our time, but we'll shift it around from time to time. We'll try and keep you up to date on Twitter and anywhere else.
Okay. Perfect.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
We'll see you.